Hey guys, so today I wanted to make a video to show you how to change the front screen on the LG G2. As you can see, I have one that is pretty badly cracked. So let's get started. So to remove the back cover, what I found where you want to start is you want to take a SIM eject tool and remove the SIM card tray. It's a good place to start. And what I do is right in the hole there where the SIM card tray is, if I put my thumbnail in there and I take a pry tool, something like this, and a knife works good it's really fine to get in here. Anyways, if you pry out with your thumbnail, get this thing started in there, then you're probably able to hold it until you get a pry tool like this, a little plastic pry tool. And then once you're in there, your fingernails help. Then you just kind of keep working it down the side. Then I would recommend, before you go all the way down, come back up here to bring the top around like this. And if you just keep sliding all the way down around, sometimes using your finger nail in there still helps as you slide down through there. Sorry I can't show it the best with my camera. Then just bring it down around to the bottom. There it is. Next, you will want to take your Phillips screwdriver and remove these 5 screws right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And these are all the same size. Now that you've removed those screws, you can just pry up anywheres here. Either here or here, just with your fingers, or you can use the tweezers. And it just pops right out like that. Next, what you will need is a Phillips screwdriver, a small Phillips. This is one like I have. And you will need to remove 7 screws here. There's one black one is the only one different here. All the others are the same. So go ahead and remove those screws. So once you have those 7 screws out of the logic board cover, just make sure to set that black one aside that was in here separately so you remember. Then you just pry up gently on this. Should pop right out. Has a couple clips over here that holds it a little bit. So there you go. So next we will want to use our spudger tool, which is a plastic pry tool, and we will want to remove the connectors for the dock connector that go up here. So first of all, you want to start with one of these connectors, like this main one here. Pry that up, and then we need to pry up this connector. There's another connector here, and then there's another connector on the side here. Just carefully pry up on that. And then what you want to do is start with say this side here, and you have to slide under here. This all has adhesive under it, so be careful, and just rock back and forth a little bit and pry that right up, and it should peel up. Then you'll want to take this adhesive loose and peel these right back like that. Now same for this other side. Just be very careful that it comes apart at the adhesive. I've had trouble before with on this side over here with this silver panel wanting to come up with it instead of pulling the adhesive off. So you want to be careful. They use some pretty strong adhesive. And just take it slow. There's no hurry, no rush in any of this. So we'll turn this around here, and then we'll peel this adhesive off right here as well. Now be careful on this side. As you're peeling up, there's this little part that goes down in here. You'll have to go under that with something fine like a tweezers, and just gently, that has adhesive under it too, gently lift up on it, and it pops out. There, you can see what I mean. And then just pry that back all the way back to that part. To remove the dock connector, which has the charging port and the microphone and the headphone jack, everything in it down here, what you will need to do when you get to this point is there's a connector here. You want to take your spudger tool and remove this connector here, and then there's another connector back in here which is kind of hard to get to. You want to pry that up, and then before we get too far here, let me try to zoom in here a little maybe. There's this microphone part here that's in this rubber part here. See if I can pick it up to show you. Right here in this part. So you'll have to very carefully pry up on that, try to get that microphone to come up. This microphone will pop up, and then it has this rubber piece that's on it. Don't worry if that falls off, just set it to the side. And then just make sure that this microphone, here I'll use my tweezers so you can see better. Make sure it pops up and is loose out of the spot there. You don't want to tear that off, that's critical. So next you want to do the coaxial cables here, or whatever you want to call them. Your cables anyways. Use your tweezers and pop them off for your antenna wires. There's a white one there, and then there's another black one here. And just go slow and careful. Sometimes they pry off kind of hard, sometimes you have to kind of rock them back and forth. I don't know why this one's being so stubborn today. So, just be careful with that. And then, so you want to go back to your spudger pry tool and slide in under here. And there's adhesive under here now, so gently pry up. Make sure none of these things catch on here. And watch these things as well. These ones here, they like to, right in here, they like to stick. There's adhesive there. So watch as you're prying up. And then you may have to pry in here. Oh, there we go. So yeah, just pull that back. What was happening is it was, like I said earlier, it was sticking right in there. So then just pull that out. And there's your charging port, headphone jack, everything included right there. To remove the logic board, you will need to remove some more connectors now. So first you will need to remove the battery connector. Push it back out of the way. You'll need to remove the rear camera connector. Pull that back out of the way. You will need to remove the front camera connector. And then right beside the front camera there's another connector that you'll need to remove. And then you'll need to remove the wire connectors. Just wiggle them back and forth. Sometimes you have to get at them from different angles. And it pops right out. So then, using your pry tool, you should be able to just lift up under this edge Watch the different connectors, like the camera connector, make sure that's pulled back. And there you go. So now with everything removed down to the frame, with the logic board out and the charging port out and all the stuff, you can leave the vibrator and a few things like that, but otherwise I would recommend taking everything else out. Now that that's out, now we're ready to start removing the glass from the frame. So we're just going to put some heat to it with a heat gun. I just have a hair dryer is what I'm going to use, and we're just going to put some heat to it and take it apart. So now we gave it some heat along here, not too much, but what I would recommend is starting is right here in the front camera hole. You start here with a screwdriver or something and push out. See how that's just separating right there? Now lucky for me, the brake isn't in a bad spot this time, close to where the this hole is here. As you can see, most of the brakes are down here further, so this is helping me get a good start. So this is coming right apart, so what I would recommend, either use like a guitar pick, and you can slide it right along down there, all the way down. Or I was going to say you could use plastic pry tool, or I have some metal ones as well for this. But make sure that this cable feeds through here, doesn't rip and tear. Now once you got it that far, I would recommend giving it a little more heat. Probably by this time it's cooled off quite a bit. So once you get to this point, and you just give it a little more heat, and then you should be able to fold this right forward like this. And then you just have to be careful separating this part because there's a lot of adhesive right here. And just make sure that the connectors can come out properly. And yeah, there's lots of strong adhesive here in the bottom. So it comes apart with lots of adhesive. And there it is. That's how you take it apart.